happening, people? Then with the panel, they get them in a minute. What's happening, people? 1,500 subs has actually been hit. I can't believe it. I genuinely can't believe it. And it's thanks to you lot smashing that sub button, hitting the like button, supporting the panelists, them having good conversations, and then boom, hit 1.5K. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it going. 2K is the next target. We could definitely hit that. Be humble in that. Can't be too bossy to say Caribbean. Do you know what I mean? But we're definitely going to hit that. So make sure, big up Prime every single time. I know my Wi-Fi is lagging on the side. Make sure the settings aren't off for you lot to comment. Make sure you're putting your comments in. Like Prime, make sure you give me any, yo, Ches, breaking news, Sesko, or Gittens, finally, here we go, because that's taken a million years to start, to get here we go on. Do you know what I'm saying? So hopefully we can get some deals on that. And yeah, we've got a big panel today, well, hopefully anyway. A lot of different opinions. And I think there's a very, very good topic as well in terms of what do we want from this window? That's basically the question I thought I posted today. There's no Chelsea news. So I thought, you know what? Change it up a bit, you know? So I'm trying to say. And I know a lot of you are going to join. So let's make sure when we're starting off and you're joining the stream, hit the like button. Couch's channel will be below. 258 The Bridge, Ahmed's channel will be below. Do you know what I'm saying? We got Jimmy joining. His channel will be below. We got Robert. His Twitter will be below. We got another Robert. His Twitter will be below as well, and his YouTube. So you make sure you support all the man them, all their content, because we're all big family. Do you know what I mean? We saying here, here our fan base overreact to everything. Glad the admin was the first one to debunk Josh A not going nowhere. Yeah, listen, the fan base is in tatters. And I'm going to speak to Couch Ahmed specifically, because I've spoken to both these two about Woltemade. And now he's going to Bayern Munich. And watch how the narratives just change. You know what? Let me bring them in. You know what I'm saying? Couch created himself, then in the building. What you telling me, brother? Why is he raising his eyebrows?
What were you trying to tell me about Woltemade? What? We should have signed him?
No, okay, go.
Oh, okay, we'll get into that later then.
Yeah, not to you, but I always mention that sometimes, this isn't to you because you're very critical, but a lot of the fan base, they cry. But when other teams get linked to the same players, I don't hear nothing. It's very interesting.
Juan's on that same tip right now. He's talking the same thing. Yeah, watch all these people acting like they're on it, or they did what the same people that were like.
Who said that? Sorry, who said that?
Don. He just posted it on his Twitter. Same thing.
I've been saying it on my channel for months. Ask Prime. Ask anybody who's watching me every day. I go live every day. Ask Ahmed. Look, we do lives. Couch watches me. I've been saying this for months. I started being consistent again. The fan base is all over the place. Now Ahmed, big up Ahmed in the building, 258 The Bridge, Nation, who below is on the description. Hey, aren't they going to change the narrative? I'm just waiting for it. I'm just waiting to see the narrative.
Who's they, though? This is the question I need answered.
Fan base, as a whole.
No, because like the fan base is already fractured. We already know that. Who is they?
Yeah,
names. If you have names to name names. So I don't want to hear all the fan bases now flipping from this to that. Because I've been proud and true to where I sit right now with this whole Woltemade thing. I didn't want him. I still don't want him. I don't see how he fits with our team. So I've been loud and proud about that. So who is this fan base you're talking about? Who are the people that are actually saying, one thing and then the next thing the next day?
Listen, my channel's big enough. My channel's big enough.
I always say it's very simple. Like whenever we target a player, you just need to look at it. Does he fit the system? What is that? I always say look at it from like a data standpoint. Like take ons per 90, stuff like that. If he's an attacker, if he's a midfielder, you look at some other different stats, obviously, that relate to the team and on the system that we play. And if he suits it, then he's going to hopefully be either one of our players or a player that we're going to target. That's the best way I look at it, man. So I think that's a very simple way of like acknowledging who the club targets and doesn't target, at least in my eyes. And also, they have to be younger than 25, usually. Obviously, there's going to be the exception.
You can't forget that part. That's not the most important part, their age. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's the only update. We're gonna go through the first updates. We're going to the main topics because in terms of the actual news, there's not a lot. That's why we're doing this topical discussion. But in terms of the updates that are available, it's Gittens. And this fab guy, so the couch has asked me to call out people. Bro, We get it. You get paid. But why is he repeating the same thing over and over again, please?
Because you guys keep fiending for it, man. That's why.
Me?
Hanging on this every word.
Don't say me.
It's
Don't say
every
me.
word. You content creators are trying to make things every day. You're online every day. He's doing it for you guys. He's doing it for you guys, man. He's not doing it for me because I already done know there's nothing really going on until at least after the 29th. So all these little updates and whatnot that you're getting, that's for you. That's the dopamine for you guys, man, not for me.
Oh,
the way I always look at it, at least when it comes to Chelsea transfer news, unless you're getting it from Ornstein, I don't really like to, look at everyone else because at this point it becomes like a speculation battle, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's happening. They keep one guy can say this, one guy can say that. It's just best to wait for the most reliable guy, which is usually Simon Johnson, is the athletic head Chelsea athletic guy, and then obviously Ornstein himself. Other than that, I don't really look at that. Really, everyone else. To be honest.
You know what's funny? Jimmy, is Jimmy jumping on?
Yeah.
Okay, so he said the other day, and I agree with him 100%.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between a journalist and a content creator, and I feel like Fab just toggles between the two because he's just putting stuff out every day, and there's not news every day.
He's got like a YouTube. He's got like a TikTok.
No,
he's making money off of that.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. Yeah. I think, Couch, to plagiarize you and Jimmy's point, I think at the beginning he was a journalist. Yeah. He was very good at having connections, and that was his USP because no one was doing it back in, it would have been 10 years ago now, 8 years ago. And then he realized as social media started growing, they could grow his accounts on other channels, aggregate his numbers up by speaking more, just not on the news as immediate, but on also other topics and in and around the news. Like, for example, yesterday, he quote tweeted a Sesko tweet he posted about terms are going to be agreed if he's followed him on Instagram. Yeah. It's like,
he's a content creator.
What a journalist would say. A journalist would just say, talks are ongoing, signed. Talks are ongoing, talks have stopped. I don't know, something like that.
I mean, they can also give an opinion piece every now and then, and that's one of the things that I think a lot of people don't like about Matt Law. Matt Law likes to, every now and then throw in a nice little opinion piece about what he
and then people take it as gospel. That's the problem.
They take it as gospel. But I think at least they can give their opinions at times, obviously on certain news sources. But obviously with him, with Fabrizio, it's more so that he's on Twitch. Sometimes he's on Kick. He's on completely different platforms, doing stuff for himself. If that makes sense, right? Which is what has changed the game. Even does like match reviews for like a bunch of like the different teams now. Like,
I mean, I don't follow him like that, but like he clearly still has context. Like he has links that are pretty strong, but he's just basically playing the content game now, and that's what it is. And when you look at Ornstein's just giving you the straight facts every time. Like there's no discrepancies there. If you're looking at Matt Law, he has the opinion pieces, but that's up to you, the reader. Like if people are just reading headlines, and expect to get the true scoop on just reading it, then that's on you. You have to be a critical reader. Like get behind the headlines, which is usually done by the editor and not by the actual writer, and get to the meat and potatoes of it. We're on this whole cycle of news where these 1 and 2 lines is all we're reading. Like we don't even go into the actual articles anymore. We're just reading 2 or 3 lines and that's it.
Bro, 100%. That's what updates become. And look at this article here, and he literally repeats what he said yesterday. And by the way,
that's not an article though. What we're reading here is not an article.
And by the way, guys, it makes it worse. He said this twice yesterday, not once, twice.
Someone did like I think a tweet actually. So because one of my mates sent this me this year when I was at work, which was like he's basically said the same tweet for the last 2 weeks 6 times. 6 times the last 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. And the thing is, I get it. Obviously, the club is probably. And by the way, Ornstein tweeted about this deal, so we got to keep it because Ornstein said. Let me get it up. Actually, I've actually kind of forgotten what he said in terms of what he said about Gittens. You guys remember before I get it up?
We were just saying that it's
I don't really follow it like that, to be honest.
Because
Couch, I agree with you. He only comes out with like 30 stuff, right? He said something 30 which made everyone believe, it's done. And obviously now, 2 days later, we're like, okay, where is it? Did I suppose this guy's name?
See?
Yeah,
So he deleted it, man. He's like, yo, I'm getting rid of this before people start
Man said
calling
deleted
me
it.
out.
It would have been when? Yesterday?
Yeah, man. He deleted it, but he's like,
yeah,
yo,
yeah. No, you missed it.
I
You missed it,
want
bro.
kids exposing
You missed
me,
it.
man.
Say Sway deleted it.
There is.
Oh,
The
yeah.
green.
Hey, Cal, stop spreading fake energy, man. You're such a hater. Why are you doing that for? This guy.
Right.
Look, he goes, proposed move from Dortmund to Chelsea could be done immediately. Is he doing the fab thing? Did my man just say
he wouldn't put that up. What is this from, though? Is this for his own?
this is an article and this is the headline?
Okay, we'll check the article.
But he's saying could be done imminently. So I think he's just probably talking about.
Yeah, we're talking.
Yeah, we're talking.
This is his "We're Talking" update.
Yeah, we're talking update. That's pretty much it.
I
got a screenshot his face right
now.
Wait, what?
I just think with I just think with this one, yeah, he's just basically probably just given like a short update. That's probably what it looks like to me. Because he's also got, I think if I'm not mistaken, this is like his transfer card special. So the Athletic have this thing where they do like players from different clubs, and they actually just like report on what the current status of what's happening is.
That's fair, But yeah, the point remains is that for Chelsea news, before we get into the topic, I think what Cal said is true, where I think the club is waiting for next week to actually get some deals done. But what I've been concerned about in general, boys, is have you guys got any centre backs that you'd like to join the club? Like, have you seen anybody or any names? Like, oh yeah, he would suit our team. Have you guys thought of any? Because I haven't really seen any links, so I thought I'd ask you what you thought of the centre backs we could potentially get.
I personally wanted Mark.
Just throw any names out. It doesn't mean to do
I've always wanted Mark Gahey, my personal opinion. I think for me,
wouldn't be a bad shot actually.
And I think I said when you look at the centre back market, you've got the guys that are like the elite of the elite, but those guys are locked up in contracts. Mm-hmm. They're basically at good teams. Then you've got this other section which is like unproven, probably may need a season or two to develop, right? Or may like Hoyson, I would probably say kind of doesn't fall in that one, but it's like somewhere in between that. But like there's some other guys that we linked to that are somewhat like that as well. I think for me, I put Guy as like the best of the above averages, if that makes sense. He's like middle age, got a bit of a Premier League experience, former Chelsea player. Can somewhat provide a bit more leadership in that backline that we might need to help out a Colwell as well. So I think like as an overall package, I think he was like my ideal centre back to bring into the club, to be honest. But I don't know about you guys.
I wanted to aim higher myself, but like now, I know we got like some sort of like first refusal with Crystal Palace when it comes to Gahey, which also means we can probably get him for slightly cheaper because we do have a sell-on clause on him as well. So I mean, if the number's right, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But yeah, I was actually thinking Murillo would be a nice piece to bring into the club. I think that he's got the play style that we're looking for. He's not as physically demanding as a physical specimen that you want to see. A 6'4", ball playing center back. He's not that guy, but like he's good on the ball, good in the air, and he's physical.
What worries me about Murillo though? Also, big up.
What's that?
It's my first time meeting you.
Yo, what's up, man?
Yeah, nice to meet you.
We're RSM, first time in the building. His channel will be below, by the way.
So, dope.
Yeah, I appreciate it. The one thing is, I watch a lot of South American ball.
Hey, Rob, turn your mic up. Shall I do it from my end?
I can turn it back.
You can do it actually your end now, by the way. I'm streaming out.
You can, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but is that good right here?
Yeah, fine.
All right. So the one thing with Rio is he recently had his first game for Brazil and dropped one of the most insane disaster classes you will ever see. He got hooked at halftime, and I think Brazil got pumped 4-1. He looked like a deer in the headlights. And the thing that worries me about that is, right, that worries me in the sense that is he going to be able to step up in these big moments, big games against big players, right? If he is deer in the headlights when he puts on that Brazil jersey, I worry about, adding in a defender like that when it comes time for us to be back into the UCL. That would be my biggest question with you, because I think
who do they play?
Attributes, Argentina.
It's Argentina.
Okay, well, you're playing against the world champions, man. big rivalry.
I agree. No, but it's the level of his disaster class.
Yeah, I'm not gonna use that as an excuse.
Okay,
Like-
I'm not. Yeah, I think that's a pretty decent
Because
excuse.
I
But like,
think
and it's his
physical
first game too.
attributes- It was his debut, yeah, and he got hooked at halftime.
In favor of who?
I don't know, was it like Marquinhos or something? It wasn't good though. I don't know much.
Who was he playing with? That's the other thing too. Who was in that back line?
Let me
I
check.
think it was like
I can let you
Brazilian.
know.
I think it was the Brazilians in the back.
Okay,
The
it
Brazilians.
was it was Marquinhos. He was next to Marquinhos, and he got
Ooh.
subbed off for who is this? Was it Lau Ortiz? Probably that's who it was.
Oh
Yeah.
boy. Yeah, I mean, we watched him on the Prem for more than one game. Like he looks a decent center back. I'm not saying he's the answer per
Of
se,
course,
but
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that he's certainly considering that what the price might be. He might be a guy that can come in and give us some good
I think
minutes.
he has the
He's
physical
not going to be
attributes.
the general back there. I don't think that he's going to come in and be the general that we're looking for, but he's certainly a center back that fits the profile of what we're looking for. In terms of like ball playing ability, aerial presence, physicality, but that sort of thing. But I mean, with that said, who would you bring into the club then?
Me?
Yeah.
Is best signing that we could make. Ahmed, don't say anything.
I'm not saying anything, Darren.
Don't say anything. Don't piss me off. It's
Romero?
Hincapié. Pierre Hincapié from Leverkusen
Oh, okay.
would be the perfect signing.
He's on the
That's
phone now.
Ivorian.
He's on the phone
He
now.
would be the perfect signing, and let me tell you why. So he obviously in Xavi's system, he plays center back sometimes, left back sometimes. He could, fill in for Cucurella when we need. He's able to bomb forward. He's a threat aerially, right? Through his crossing ability, but also has scored a ton of headers, not only for Leverkusen, but also for Ecuador, right?
Mm.
And in terms of center back, he is used to playing center back in a back three and in a back four. So even if for whatever reason, right, we move on from Resca, he's able to manage either back three or back four. And I think that one is very tall as well, so he adds that height to the back line, so we don't lose out on that. I think his wages would easily fit within what we asked for, and he, for me, is also that young player, but a ton of winning experience. Again, he was part of the team that went invincible, and in that invincible run, I think he scored like 2 last minute goals for Leverkusen so that they could continue their unbeaten streak in the league. So I think this is the type of player that fits every attribute, right? Fits the wages, experienced, young. I just don't know why we're not going in for him. I think he would be literally the perfect solution. Like, I hope that the links are true, because he would be the solution for the long term as well in terms of what we need next to Cole.
Yeah, I was actually for that position, like the sort of like hybrid center back, left back role. I was thinking the one that we're actually linked to, Joel Hato. I've watched him enough time. I watched him a few times. I think that he's kind of like the prototype in that position, like sort of like a guy that is a hybrid center back, left back, can get forward, can basically marshal up and down that left flank. Exactly. He was the guy I was looking at, but I think ultimately what we're looking for is somebody that could be a little bit more of an understudy to a Fofana, right? Like more of a right-sided player. And I know I mentioned Murillo, who's left-footed and all that stuff, but I think we need somebody on that right side that could be that presence there. Not so much a hybrid there, but somebody that can actually give us minutes there. And I don't know a lot of the guys right now that fit the build.
Because the thing for me is that with Fofana, I can't trust him to play like obviously.
Yeah, Carl's so interesting there,
right?
Oh, do you not see him as a starter anymore? When I ask everyone around the panel,
I don't think that's. I don't think it's about. I don't think it's necessarily that I see him as a starter. I just need someone to compete with him. Like I need someone like to actually compete with him, and hopefully that can allow and like obviously the manager has done a great job of reach change in terms of managing minutes and getting him to play more. And hopefully we can get that process done for Fofana as well. Because like sometimes when you have a bit more competition within your
he had the resurgery. He got the resurgery.
Yeah, so I think that might help him out a little bit there. But someone actually forgot that to mention.
Viega's still here?
He's in the
book. Technically,
Viega's here, but he burned his bridges when he.
He's at the Cobham. He's at Cobham right now. You know what I mean? Doing starting pizza, I would assume. No,
you'd be lucky if he's at Cobham right now. You'd be lucky.
No. But I know this guy. Obviously, he just had a hamstring injury, if I'm not mistaken. When the Champions League final. But even if you are gonna say like an understudy, I wouldn't mind the ambisector ones as well. I think he's very physical. You know what I mean? Good. He's got a good heading of the ability of the ball. Guy that maybe if hopefully Fofana, even though I'm not necessarily on that train, gets fit enough and is able to play somewhat consistently for us, he can learn for a season and probably hopefully step into that team. But and
You know what's funny?
Mhm.
As you mentioned that, like I'm starting to think of like the options that we have right now. And the one that so many people are sleeping on for me is Sar, the Sar kid. Like I think that guy's gonna be a nice like center back. And I don't think that they want to bring somebody in to block his development. Another decent shout for that sort of like right of three, hybrid right back role. Again, we saw him in the last game, and that's Josh Achapong. I think that he's got the profile to fit the modern day center back, in that mold of Fofana too. Because the way we used Fofana, he was basically just the more of the ball carrier driving into the final third.
Yes, sir.
I think that Josh can be that guy as well, right? Like more so
I agree.
than just like a right of three sitting in there and not really like looking to get forward. So we have some interesting pieces. I just don't know if they're at the right age profile to meet what the requirements are for this year. So what we're hoping for, I'm assuming, is we get good minutes from Fofana. Fofana's able to give us some games. Tosin can still be, what he was this year. I know he's more of a middle of three rather than right of three, but
yeah.
In a pinch, I think that he can still probably. I'm not gonna say that. No, I can't see him in the right of three, to be honest. If he has to defend wide areas, I think he might have problems.
Yeah, I was about to say, if he has to defend wide, he's in trouble.
He's in trouble. So maybe just if we don't look to invert from the right, we look to invert from the left. He might be a guy that can give you something in the middle, but I don't know. Yeah, there is options. It's just that we haven't seen a lot of them yet. And like I feel like in case of Sar, I think Sar is a little bit, the age profile is like he's a little bit young for what we might need in the Premier League. Yeah, but I think he's a nice piece. Don't get it twisted. I think he's a nice piece and something that can, grow.
He had a good season at, was it called Strasbourg, man? On
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like if Fofana
really,
wasn't so injury prone, he had Sar in the background, Josh there. It's like, yeah, you could firm that.
Good.
Yeah, but the problem is with Fofana, because this guy's so unreliable for so many years.
That's the problem we've got, isn't it? That's the issue we've got, yeah.
You got to be like, yo, bro, like, you can't be a star anymore. So that's why I'm happy the club are looking at right centre back. Because they're basically, it's a bit risky though, because then Josh or Sar becomes unhappy and it's a high risk for them being sold. That's another issue, I guess. But...
Whoa. Why y'all be talking about 18s and 19-year-olds getting unhappy? Where does that happen?
That never really happens. It happens. Colwell was unhappy. Colwell was unhappy before he came back.
People came out and said those reports wasn't
Jimmy, you gotta be realistic, bro. Even if he's 18.
No, dog. We being realistic. Who the fuck is Josh? Okay, if Josh Chimpong says, "Oh, I don't like it here," where the fuck is he going to play?
No, he'll go somewhere.
Deal too.
Oh, he got linked.
A lot of places.
Dortmund likes him.
You think he's gonna go to Dortmund and play? He's gonna go to eat their bench too.
Why wouldn't
First of all, wait. Hold on, wait. Y'all gotta stop with this. Y'all gotta stop with this.
All ICPs from London who went there.
Y'all have to stop with this. He has links with. When a fucking reporter puts out a report that a team likes a player, that's not links with. That's a team.
That guy did it anyways.
That's a team telling a reporter, "Oh, we like him." That ain't link with. That's just you telling a reporter you got your eyes on that player. We literally just gave him a contract a few months ago. I'm quite sure in that conversation they told him about his pathway. So he's not about to come in.
Yes, hold up, but
I agree
you
with
remember
that.
the story of how that happened, though?
Yeah, like it was because he was linked to go. Like you don't get it.
It's not because of that. Y'all always think that. You really think Chelsea's gonna say you're a player we don't really want, but because you have a link to go somewhere else, we're gonna sign you.
One second, Jimmy. I'm gonna back you here a little bit, yeah. To also remember, at the time, Josh Chamberlain had 2 years left on his contract. Remember, the club has that policy of once you enter 2 years, you either negotiate a new contract with us, or we move you on essentially, right? That's also what was taking place last season, and I don't think the club obviously wanted to move on from him. So
yeah, but that's not the debate, though. I agree with that point.
I'll just give you context, obviously, to the what happened last season.
I get Jimmy's point about who is he to demand leaving? But at the end of the day, if you got a cold centre back, Kampe comes in, like Robert and Kaut said, and you've got Fofana, and you've got Sarr.
He's not a center back. He's a right back.
Hybrid.
He's a hybrid. He can play both positions though.
We don't really play with right backs though. We don't really play with right backs.
All these guys you naming don't do what he does.
Yeah, that's true.
Put my full name in now. We got the love anyway.
Yeah, those guys you naming don't do what he does. So I don't really see those guys being threats to him. Like Viega is a guy that does what he does, just on the other side. You know what I mean? Like he's a center back that can play left back, and he's a right back that can play. Excuse me, center back. He ain't go. I don't see him making no fuss. He's clearly in the plans. I don't know what y'all see, but
yeah. We understand that he's in the plans.
We're not saying it's not. Yeah, we're just saying like if they
Holland 3-1.
Yeah. Was it 2-0 City?
Nah, it was 2-1. It was 2-1. But now it's 2-1.
It should be 2-1. That own goal was the worst own goal I've seen in 77
terrible.
years.
Like he actually he kicked it into his zone. And didn't just
hit the back of he opened up his foot too early and it hit the back of his heel. And he rocketed it in his own net. That shit shot in the net.
Awful.
People.
Terrible.
We actually spoke about centre back there accidentally, but let's go through it, man. What ideal goalkeeper do you man want as a?
We already on the tail. Mike Mignon, man.
So we can all agree. Is that an easy one to discuss?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna step out of the comfort zone here a little bit. Yeah. The thing is, listen. Ideally, I understand that the club. Obviously, I think they see Penders as obviously the long-term goalkeeper. The way they talk about him and everything like that. He's the long-term goalkeeper. But for me, if I'm looking at someone maybe he's 24, 25-ish, can he's probably by the time Pender comes in. Hopefully, you've got a guy that can match him peak for peak. Hopefully, in terms of thing, I'll probably say Marcus Chevalier. For me, Chevalier, I've watched him for quite a while, the last 2-3 seasons, and I've been a very big fan of him. I think
who does he play for?
He plays for Lille. He's the Lille goalkeeper.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a talented goalkeeper in my personal opinion. He's got a lot of great attributes in my personal opinion, and I think he's got a lot of experience. That's the key thing, right? He's played UCL football, obviously Lille, you're probably going to get the last 16 or anything like that. But in general, he's a very good goalkeeper in my personal opinion. And I think, he'd be someone that I would love to bring to the club, obviously. And Aston Villa's linked to him. And he's going to be a very good replacement for him.
All right. Rob, what are you saying? You shook. You agreed with me. Is Magnan the easy option then for you? Or would you go with someone else?
Yeah, no, for me, I think it's the easier option. It's the one that makes the most sense because then you have, again, if the club truly believes, because me personally, I can't speak on Penders. I know nothing about the kid, but the way that they're treating him and the way that people talk about it, if it really is the truth, Mignon gives us that 3 to 4 years.
Yep.
Of really and then he can develop into that guy.
Exactly, he can develop into that guy for us. So like, I feel that's a slam dunk easy solution, especially considering I'm sure we're going to talk about it eventually, right? If we are going to end up paying full price for Gittens, then these brothers are shameless for not paying full price for Mike Mignon.
That's an interesting.
I don't know about no full price, though. I don't know about no full price.
Yeah, Rob, that's the whole point. I actually don't think if we were going to pay what they wanted, it would have been done already.
Yeah, I will say to that. Yeah, I think there's just no point in speculating until we find out, obviously, what the
like all this €5 million stuff.
They're not going to go this far just to pay full price. Nobody.
Yes, I'm saying like you just done it like 2 weeks ago.
Like if somebody comes in and make the price raise, that's different. You know,
we've got to see what the final package is.
Yeah. But I get Rod's point though. He's saying like we need to get him in, and then Penders on what's his name. Mike Penders.
But there was it was clearly no way we were gonna get Gittens in. It was that as much as those reports were saying this and that wasn't part of the plans. You can clearly see that.
I think they kind of I don't think they initially planned to bring him in, if that makes sense, like for the Club World Cup. But then I think when they realized that they've only got Derek George,
we got no goddamn left wingers.
Then they start panicking. I think that's what started happening.
And then Dortmund was like, "Oh, hold on, wait, we can put a little tax on it."
I also think the Sancho situation. I also think the context of.
I forgot.
Sancho. I think they were. I think they were hoping Sancho would take the pay cut, but he's not taking the pay cut. He's not even taking the pay cut.
Like 110K off that.
Easily.
He's not even taking a pick up on Napoli, apparently. He's trying to get him
out. Bro, he don't want to go nowhere, bro. He don't want to go nowhere.
So I'm taking my.
Good for him, man.
Good for him. I hear it. That 25. Oh, my 250 a week.
I was about to say he signed that contract. He like pay me. Whether man, you gotta pay half and another team pay half, but I'll wait till this shit run down. I'll leave on a free and go out.
It's risky because profile can drop with his next move, but
he'll still get another contract at his age.
Yeah, he's too young to not get another chance.
That's why he said no. If he was last chance to lose,
but not to this level. I think the thing is,
Roman Tata. He can go to Germany, get a Roman Tata.
Who he did? He did, bro. He went Dortmund, played good in the final, and I'm back on the shop window.
He's already shown that he can play in Germany, so like somebody else.
Yeah, you already know football is very fickle. It don't take.
I think he will do well in
6 months
Italy.
Back.
Yeah, he would do well in Italy, in my personal opinion, man.
Yep.
There's not at Chelsea. I didn't mind him staying, but not on like 180, 200. That's
not at that price point. I didn't mind him staying either.
If it was like 150, even 150, I'd be like, you need to contribute a bit more. You know what I'm saying? But
no doubt.
Yeah, Champions League. I wanted to keep him originally for Champions League experience.
Yeah, you did say
He'd
that.
be a good squad player. I said it.
Champions League,
he would have been good in terms of like his camaraderie. He's 25. He lives in. It makes sense, right?
And to be honest with you, like whenever I see that guy play in Europe, he looks.
In Europe. That's what I'm saying.
When he was playing the league for us, man, it was a hard watch. It's a hard watch.
No doubt. It's a different league, though. Like I just think, like in the Champions League, there's more space for him. And the tempo that it's played at just suits him.
It's much easier for him. I agree.
It just suits him, right? Obviously, the competition level's higher, but I just think it suits his game better. But again, no use of speaking about a man that don't want to take a pay cut to be.
Literally. As I said here, if it ain't Man Yang, try Petrovic or Trafford. I think Trafford's got Newcastle, bro. But he was linked to Chelsea, and a lot of crybabies about it. And where's the Osimhen or Ekitike news? We need that dopamine. Bro, I think the striker market is.
Can we stop talking about Osimhen, please? Like, why is
Osimhen's not joining?
Obsessed with a guy that's never gonna come to this club? Can we stop?
He's not joining. And secondly, the striker market is a domino effect. So when Sesko moves, and 1st of July hits, like I said earlier about the market and the time of the year in terms of the financial thing.
Yeah, the financial thing.
I reckon by mid-July you'll start seeing movement. Like that's like minimum.
You know what's got everyone's juices. It's just like this fugazi little whatever Club World Cup window that opened.
Yeah, that little window that opened, man.
Everyone is just like, oh my goodness, oh the window's open. And it's like that's not even the real window. You know what I mean?
The club didn't do themselves any favors as well, when they started.
How
saying,
so?
When they started, doing this, because there was a few reports that were like, oh, the club is expecting to make the vast majority of their main income happen.
Yeah, they did say
I never heard that.
No, that actually came out. That's what I'm saying. You don't help yourself, then. You don't help yourself when you start saying stuff like that, man.
They didn't say it. That be my only problem. Like, yo, all right, all right. A reporter, right? A reporter will have multiple sources within a club, right? As long as he can verify that source with his editor or whoever he's working for, he can run a story from them. So he might get good news from his top source that we know is good, and then from his source that don't know fucking much might be like, yeah, because the team wants to get everything done before the Club World Cup, and that guy ain't high enough on the ladder to fucking actually know that.
June, my thing was before June, by the end of June. It wasn't like before the Club World Cup. That would be stupid. Like I think
because if you look at how they handled the Gittens thing, they wasn't rushing. They never wanted that before Club World Cup because it still ain't even done up to now. They wasn't rushing that. I'm gonna say whoever wrote that report, they got some bad news. They got some bad inside info.
Rob, I didn't get your thought on that. Rob, what was your thought on us not getting the Man Yang and the other players before the World Cup? Do you think they kind of threw it away or not? What do you think? Rob, do you hear what I said? Be up Joey in the chat.
Did he hear what he said? If you need to say it again, I don't think he had it.
Yeah, RSM, I didn't get your thoughts. I heard the other three, yeah. But what's your thoughts on us not buying like Man Yang and that before the World Cup? You think it was that deep?
I mean, I think more so than anything, it was just a show of their incompetence. To be honest, I think the deal should have been done.
Why are you so low? Is he loaded or is it just me?
Yeah, I'm gonna put him up.
Is it better?
Yeah,
I brought the mic closer. For me personally, like the way that I look at it, like I said, more than anything, it was just a show of their incompetence, really, because I think what initially the report was like they wanted 25, and then they were willing to accept 20, and we just wanted to stay stuck at like with our 12.8 million evaluation or whatever. It's one of those things where I think it's more so embarrassing than anything, because you put it out there, right? You hear all the news, and then when it doesn't go through, we get 6 million conflicting reports, right?
Yeah,
actually, before we hear, oh, Maresca wanted it. We wanted these keepers, and then it fails, and all of a sudden we actually never wanted a keeper. We were never in for a keeper. Actually, we're happy with everybody that we have. And then immediately after saying we're happy with everybody that we have, Petrovic actually not even called up. Actually, Petrovic is leaving, right? Because he wanted first team football, and we're not willing to offer that to him. And he feels like he's a first team player. So
yeah, he needs to fight for his place.
But hold on. Why people ignoring the reports that came out? The reports came out that said Chelsea was pissed at Milan for keep reporting news on that deal. That I remember that. Chelsea never wanted that.
Jimmy, you know what's crazy?
And hold on. Also, Chelsea did not inquire about Mike Mignon. So he was never on their menu. They came to Chelsea and said, we have Mike Mignon. Chelsea said, okay, what's your evaluation? 25. No, I'm not giving you 25. How much you got? Bitch, I got 12 with some add-ons that can get you to 18. I want 25. You can keep them. Bye. I don't think Chelsea did wrong in that.
Hey, RSM, you got a bit of pushback here. Pause.
No, but that's what I'm saying, though. But hear me out. But when you look at the sources that were reported after, these aren't Milan sources. These are all the same Chelsea ITKs. And Ahmed was there. Ahmed was there live, bro. We got to, bro. They quote tweeted each other.
Yeah, I know.
Within the same minute. Jimmy. Let me finish.
None of them mean nothing to me,
brother. Let me finish. So what I'm saying is, you can choose to not believe, right? You can choose to believe exactly what is reported, and that's on you, right? And that's fine. However, me personally, I like to read a bit in between the lines, because I don't like to just outright believe everything that is reported, but I'm also not going to go on the other end and be a conspiracy theorist and say that everything is a briefing and a lie, right? The truth lies somewhere, usually in the middle with these kind of things. And when you look at the absolute disjointed briefings coming out from all these different Chelsea journalists after the transfer fell through, not Milan. I'm not even talking about what happened during the transfer. After the transfer fell through, within like a 5-hour span, we got conflicting briefings. Everybody's happy. Actually, we never wanted Mignon. We never really in for him, but we're happy with all the keepers. Actually, Petrovic wants to leave. We're not happy with Petrovic. He's actually not going to the Club World Cup, as a matter of fact. I was there. We all saw the reports come out one after another, rapid fire.
And then I just explain how those reports happened. I think, was anybody listening? Because how could one club put out 5 different statements? You think the club sat down and said,
I can explain to you.
Hold on.
Exactly.
So I can explain to you. This is what we're going to say. And then an hour later say, no. Say this. No. Say this. Get the fuck out of here.
No, that's for my hair.
$1 billion company.
Hold on. Hold up. I can explain this to you. Exactly like this, right?
You can explain it to make it make sense to you.
I'm explaining to you then. The way that it happens is they fucked up. Right? And then they go out and they try to do the briefings to cover their ass.
According to you. This is what I be talking. Hold on, wait.
No. You can't keep saying fucking hold on, wait, and never let me talk. Every time I say one sentence and then it's hold on, wait. So when the fuck am I going to speak?
Start off with they fucked up. That's your opinion. They don't think they fucked up.
Okay, it's my fucking opinion. Then let me speak and let me explain. You asked me to explain. I get one sentence out and then you interrupt me. Let me talk then, brother. Damn. It's like one sentence, hold up. I let him speak. One sentence, hold up, brother. Then let me say the whole thing. And then critique the entirety of it.
Land the point.
Critique the entirety of it then. But my point is, they fucked up with the transfer. And then they gave out the press briefings to the Chelsea people, right? And so they put out those briefings. And then we got what's called the reality from the other journalists who actually had the info on what was actually going on. Not the briefings that they wanted to put out, right? That actually, Maresca never asked for it, that we were happy with our keepers. Then the truth came out. Not only are we not happy with our keepers, right? Petrovic is gone. We have a gentleman's agreement with Petrovic to let him leave for like 20-something mil. He's not coming to the Club World Cup. All this stuff came up after because they tried to do a bit of PR to cover their mistakes. And then the truth came out after. They're not in charge of everything that came out. The two who was it, Ahmed? The two people who literally came out with the same thing and
Nazar and Ben. Nazar and Ben.
Nazar and Ben. Those are the briefings that the club dropped, and then the truth dropped immediately
I
after a couple
just
hours.
Okay, let me just say this, because I think this goes back to what we were saying earlier too.
Go on,
Like,
Couch.
I think that what we're relying on all day, every day is content creators.
Thank you.
So
These dudes are not fucking journalists. That's what I was about to say, Couch.
Yeah,
I was about to
every
destroy
day they have a
all
briefing.
this argument.
Every day they have a briefing. Every day they have a briefing.
There's no way that club is talking to these fucking people every day.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
Okay.
And I think that we have to be cognizant when things come. We talked about it earlier. The guys that we have to be listening to and following when it comes to Chelsea stuff, for me, is Ornstein first and foremost.
I do get I do get what you're saying.
I think, yeah.
Why
I think-
are we
sorry,
fucking
sorry,
acting
RSM,
like the
sorry,
reports
RSM,
that
let
I'm
me just,
talking about, bro? These are people who work
Yeah.
for actual news
because
people.
they're
I'm not talking
but-
about CFC Goldberg.
RSM, you're not understanding. These guys make a lot of think pieces. They
I think for
walk
me-
the line of reporter and content creator. To be honest, they do not have integrity as reporters. I know I'm older than you, so you're not gonna really know this. Back when I was younger, if a reporter put out a fake report, do you know what happened to them? Their career was done. Your integrity was done. It was done. Nowadays, reporting is a joke. I remember when I was younger, when reports came out, you could believe that shit because people had to have integrity. Nowadays, these guys, look at Fabrizio Romano is the biggest fraud walking.
He is the worst offender.
Yes.
The worst offender.
He's a content creator. He's no different than Chaz. He's no different than fucking Couch. He just got some plugs.
Okay,
that's
okay.
it.
So
He knows some people.
hold up.
He's
If
not
I'm
a
to understand this
journalist.
correctly, so if I'm to understand this correctly, right, Jimmy? Then who do you trust to deliver
None
actual
of them.
Yeah, we
So
we
so
talk about
if you
Don't
believe, hold up. So
always say this, Couch.
if you believe, hold up. If you believe none of them, then you can't believe anything, including the reports that
You
saying.
can't tell me what I believe. Listen what I'm telling you.
You just told
Listen,
me.
I want you to
believe
listen
none
to
of them.
this.
You just told me out of
Because,
your own mouth. You
yo,
believe none of
I
them.
think y'all younger people really
See?
have an understand. Listen to it. I'm gonna listen. And when maybe you understand this when you get older.
Amen, don't
I
worry.
believe everything and nothing at the same time. One day you'll understand what that means. Bro, you don't. What I mean by that is you can't go and flip off of something and you lose your mind that you really don't know if it has any basis. You saying, listen what you said, because I want to answer some things you said. You said when the club fucked up the transfer, they tried to do PR. Who said they fucked up the transfer? That's your opinion. You have to remember they was never in for the player. So if they don't get the player on their terms, why would they think they fucked up?
That's a good rebuttal, I'm not gonna lie.
No, think about it. RSM, you're saying they fucked up.
Can I respond?
The truth is, I want to say something.
I'm just saying.
I
Keep in
want to
mind,
ask him.
I'm
Let
quiet.
Ahmed
No
speak
interruptions. I'll let him speak.
Ahmed,
Keep
I'll
that
let
in
you
mind.
speak, Arsenal. Let Ahmed speak because he's
Oh, no,
agreeing with
you
you.
don't.
So-
Wait,
So
let me finish.
Jimmy.
When you're in a business deal and you decide you're not going through with that business deal, there's no I fucked up and I gotta prove. You just do. That's my decision.
I'm in the middle in this.
Whether or
Ahmed,
not if I fucked up would be determined later.
Okay.
What
Can
kind
I
of world
respond?
of business y'all think?
Can I respond?
You
Can
can't
I respond?
determine that I fucked up right now.
Can I
I can
respond?
break it down simple. The other day, Luka
let's-
Doncic got traded, right?
Hold on.
Everybody said they fucked up. Now, does anybody think that? Nobody. They got the number one draft pick.
I
They got
understand
players.
what Jimmy's saying.
It's
I
not
get it.
decided
Again,
in the
Wait,
moment.
but hold up. Can I respond or no?
Arsenal, let's do
I'm
this.
I'm gonna back your point and then you can continue from me.
Ahmed
Okay?
won't interrupt you,
So-
nor will I.
so-
Yeah? Jimmy won't as well. Ahmed
Yeah.
speaks, Arsenal responds to that. And I'm gonna give my
I
take.
get Jimmy's point of like these guys essentially are content creators and they don't really essentially aggregate news. I get what you mean. I understand what he means, but
Jimmy,
there are
hold on.
there are points here which I will give an example of where the club genuinely does brief not only them. Will be on all team that will be included. I'll be Fabrizio and all of them altogether. And an easy example I can give you. Remember when, like, obviously last season we were trying to move on Gallagher at the time. He was in the bum squad. Do you remember that report that they all reported it literally within the space of 3 minutes of each other about like the Chelsea had offered him two different like contract offers. Right?
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Remember? And that was reported by every single one of them in the space of 2 different minutes. Almost you reported it at the same time. Fabrizio did. Jacobs, Ben, they all got that same report almost exactly at the same time, and they all briefed it at the same time. So I think there's a bit more of a balance in my argument, which is like, listen, the vast majority of the time, these guys may not have the information, obviously, exactly. They may not be reporting anything. They may report opinion pieces, but at the same time, there are times where the club will use these guys sometimes to push their own agenda. That's why I come from it, right at the end of the day. But that's the way I see it.
Respond to Jimmy's point, and then Jimmy can respond, and then we'll end it there.
So no, literally, also to go off what Ahmed said, by the way, when things come out at the same time, that's what my mind. Because again, I have friends who work in actual journalism in New York, bro. I'm talking New York Times. You feel me? All these different places. When they get a press release from a company, contractually you sign it at a certain time. You come out with the report, not before another time, right? You say, all right, I'm gonna give you this information, publish it at said and so and so time. That's when you get these reports, right, at the same time from different sources. That's when you usually know, okay, it's coming from somewhere, right? They had to sign. This is something that was given to them that they had to sign as a press briefing. And then number two, the reason why I'm saying they fucked up, right, is because they went hella public with it. They let everybody know
but the same reporters you said you love came out and said AC Milan was the one putting out the briefs about Mignon.
All I'm saying is, you see, I was dead silent, Jimmy. I didn't.
Yeah, it's calm, Jimmy. I didn't
see one sentence. Yeah. One sentence. I got one sentence.
It's not ideal. When Jimmy does it, it's not ideal. But you're kissing RSM.
My point being, right? They fucked it up. And when I'm saying that this is a show of their incompetence, that's the exact reason why. Because when you go public with something like this, and then you fail, and again, I'm telling you that the same reason why we're getting thrown around by Dortmund and all these other clubs is because they see, these brothers, they can't really close the deal like that. They don't got respect like that. And everything is pointing to that, bro.
But hold
up, the Enzo deal last minute. Caicedo deal, they had to get
respond. Hold up.
Caicedo, they got the owners through it. Neto had to be the owners, and they did it in secret.
Yo. Hold on. Let me just
Couch. Wait, let him finish.
Just one sec on this whole Caicedo.
RSM, wait, hold on. I don't want to be rude to anybody.
I just want to finish. I just want to jump on the back of that, and then I'll go.
I want RSM to finish though.
But that's such a big piece to talk about right now. Okay, all right, go ahead.
RSM, are you going to finish? I want everyone to have their say.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. Like, if people jump in.
Finish up your point, because then Jimmy wants to respond.
My point being.
Couch go next.
My point being, like, that's what I'm saying. They messed up by making all this public, right? And again, this was heavily reported on, even from the Chelsea side as well. It wasn't just the Milan side. It was also the Chelsea side, right? And if you're going to do something so public, and no, that's what I'm saying. But obviously, the news was coming out at different times from different sides, right? And it was different news. I'm not saying that, but that's usual. That's usual transfer stuff. But what I'm saying is, though, it was very much so in the public eye. You feel me? And what happened after? That's what I'm saying. What happened after is what shows me that they really thought that they were going to be able to stiff arm Milan, like they were able to throw their weight around, and then they failed to do it. And that's why we got the press briefings that came out at the exact same time, right? And then the other journals who came out with info. Whether you want to parse through that as true or false, those are the facts of the matter. The transfer fell through within within an hour. I think we got the Nazar and somebody else at the exact same time. Ben Jacobs. And then a couple hours after, we got the flood of news, right? Happy with all keepers. Actually, no Petrovic. And then those reports are true. We know that to be true now, right? Petrovic did not get offered the starting position. He was upset. Gentleman's agreement. All this stuff is stuff that we did not know at the time. Came out after the fact.
This is going to be my argument when I speak to RSM and Ahmed. Couch, you disagreed heavily there. If you're still there, do you want to land your point?
Yeah. No, sorry. I'm not. It's not even so much I disagree. I think that he's saying a lot of good things. I'm just saying we have to be cognizant of how we're delivering this information. Like, number one, the Caicedo thing. First of all, when you're negotiating, keep in mind that Eghbali is managing a multi-billion-dollar investment fund. He is managing that. You can say he's the owner of the Chelsea, but he's managing a fund. So when he's managing a fund and there's $100 million on the table, you best believe he's going to be there at the negotiation table. You absolutely best believe he's going to be there because he's not dealing with his money. He's dealing with other people's money. Right? Money. So it's him. He came in for Caicedo. He was there for Enzo.
Mudryk.
There for Mudryk. Those are big money deals. Like, I don't expect him to just shirk his responsibility as the director of a fund just because he has a couple sporting directors that he's just started working with. He's responsible for those funds. And to be honest with you, I don't even think that there was some reports about like Chelsea offering 80 million when when I think Brighton was asking for 100. The whole time that was always the case. Like, don't think that just because Chelsea were the ones that are most loud about being into Caicedo, that were the only ones in. Liverpool was always there. Always there.
That's another thing I tell. Listen what people say. Because people clearly, when I hear people say this, it let me know they clearly have no fucking idea how business go when you're bidding on something. When something's available and it's available to be bidded on, there's always somebody waiting in the wind, waiting for somebody to set the benchmark. When Chelsea was saying, oh, we're going to get Caicedo for 80 to 85, that was them telling Fabrizio that. And Fabrizio said 80 to 80. You know what the fucking SD for Brighton said? I want 100 million. He said it from day one and he never came off of it. And what do you know? How much did he get? 100 plus 15. Who would have fucking guessed? Because that's what he wanted. That's what he wanted. This idea that they fucked up this. I'm like, if you get the player, you didn't fuck it up. Y'all have this idea of when you get the player, you get the player. Sometimes you got to pay what the price is. You don't fuck it up. We got people like, oh, well, the Enzo deal, they had to come in. Yeah. So who did all the groundwork? How you know Egbali is not a glory chaser? Yeah, you never work with somebody who watch everybody do the work and then come in last minute and take the glory for it? Never heard of that? Yeah, that happens in business. People do all the work, and then one person come in, be like, oh, he's here to close the business. Look at Egbali flying in on his jet to close the business. How you know the business wasn't all done? And he came in for the photo op. Because why? It makes him look like the man. Why you think these motherfuckers probably still got their job, even though we all feel like they're doing bad? Why you think? Because they're willing to take the bullets. You know that's a thing, right? They pay Arteta $15 million. Why you think they pay that nigga so much? You think it's because he's the best coach? Who think he's the best coach? None of us. But he gets paid like it. Why? Pow, 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 pow. Take them bullets. That's what these sports managers do. These same sports directors, they take bullets for these same dudes that y'all think, oh, he had to come in and close it. Just like Couch said, yeah, he's going to be there and close it. He's the manager of that shit. Now, back to these reporters, because I just can't let this go. These guys walk a thin line. The other day, I was right on a live, and I proved it. I fucking proved it. Go look at the last episode of Blue Diaries that I did with Don. Do you know what I did? I went to my chat, to my fucking AI. I said, hey, because I was trying to prove to them that the Nkunku and shit could just be made up out of thin air. I went to my AI. I said, Christopher Nkunku and Garnacho play for Manchester, write me an article of these two being in a swap deal for each other. And this shit wrote an article. You know, all I had to do at the end was put @MattLaw, and I could have tweeted that shit, and everybody would have believed it. I read it word for word on the screen. And everybody in the chat said, oh, shit, I couldn't believe. I would have believed that. I said, yeah, I know you would have believed it. Because you can write these pieces that make it seem like you're getting some information. Sometimes they write these pieces in the first line. They'll tell you the information that they got.
I get, yeah.
They'll tell you the little piece of information that they got, and then the rest is the fucking thing piece.
Let me end it on this, to move on quickly. Let me turn the stream, because it's lasted way longer than I thought it would. It was a good debate, I guess. But RSM, Ahmed, me, and Couch and Jimmy can all agree that there's a mix of opinions, covering your back, facts, all in the media, especially Chelsea journalists. A lot of these media people are people who are just like me and you, with a lot of followers, who get a bit of information, add their opinion in, and everyone believes it. There's also people who do have the facts. So, and then it gets kind of mixed up. So when RSM saying, like I'm saying that they covered their back, I do believe they did. But it doesn't mean they messed up the deal at the same time. So both of you can be right on that end. Does that make sense? So that's my opinion.
I don't doubt. If you realize, I never said that they don't get.
Yeah. You agreed with RSM in that part. We disagreed with the part where they messed up and they covered themselves. That's where we disagreed a bit. But I think you're both right. If that makes sense. Like what you both said made sense to me.
Yeah, my thing is this.
Like
I said, these same reporters can have 2, 3, 4 different people that work in the building, and each one of them, they'll treat them the same. The information they get from the low guy is just like the information they get from the high guy. That's why they'll report it. And if they're correct, they look like, oh, he hit on this one. He was first on it. He was first on it. He was first on it. He might have heard it too, but he probably said, you know what? I ain't putting it out. I don't feel comfortable.
You know, it's gonna remind me of, it's like Jokeres. You know, Jokeres Tesco thing, yeah? We've all seen Fab come out and Ornstein come out and say, Jokeres wants Arsenal. They get Sesko. Where's Jokeres going? United.
I guarantee you, if Sesko go to Arsenal and they ask Jokeres, so were you up for Arsenal? He'll probably be like,
let's see.
He'll probably be like,
it was an option, but that's my possible point.
Yeah,
they made it make it sound as if he won't go United, even though like he won't go, but he probably would. Because like in football, you can't have guarantees. Just like the price, you can't guarantee a price unless there's a release clause like a McAllister or a Delap where you just pay it and you keep it moving. When you're negotiating, there's no facts until you actually sign the player.
Exactly.
Until you sign it and the price is confirmed. What I say to Ahmed or RSM tomorrow, from what Pius said or this Chelsea guy said or Ornstein, is irrelevant, really, isn't it? So that's what I'm going to say on that. No light to them. I'm in a different room, G. Simple as that. But that's a big topic on that discussion. Let's move on very quickly, yeah, and talk about the inside forward position very, very briefly. Who does everyone want for that position? There's many names. Ekitike, Kudus, João Pedro. We've also got Elliot was also given into the media as well. I'm not too sure about that one from Liverpool. But who am I looking at and going, that's a difference maker I would definitely want in the team. Quick names, and we'll go around and explain. Let's go with RSM to start, because I haven't heard from him yet in terms of this point.
I'd probably say Kudus, to be honest. I think Ekitike 100 M's is way too much. João Pedro, no thank you, bro. I'm good off Brighton for a very, very long time. So I think Kudus is the best option, especially if we're able to send, for whatever reason, Sanchez the other way. I'll take it, bro.
Oh yeah, I forgot Rogers. My bad.
Rogers,
you rate Rogers?
Villa selling their women's team. Like Rogers would probably be second for me on the list. But they're selling their women's team to themselves like we did. So I don't know if they're gonna be able to, bro. I'll be real with you. I don't think they're selling. That being the case, I think Kudus is probably the most realistic option. Depending
is
on
he the best one though for you as well?
I would say between him and Rogers, like I would take either or, to be honest. But yeah,
because I made the point of view and let Ahmed land his player. I said it to him the other day as well. Why are you saying Mang Yang? He doesn't play inside forward.
He's just trying to get
you late, bro. We moved on.
Are you watching it in reverse or something? Like that's a bit bad. I know the ISC freeze, but bro, like they don't look that the same. Do you know what I'm saying? Like anyway, my opinion is this year. I've already said I wouldn't actually go for Rodrigo. I would get Kudus, Gittens, and then just like use Kudus as the cam back up to Palmer and the left winger as well. That makes sense. Do you know what I'm saying?
And
because
right
Neto,
wing and left back.
Yeah, because Neto can play left. And when I say Neto can play left, I don't want him to start left for 10 games. I'm seeing this one-off games where Gittens gets injured and Kudus is off form, you can play Pedro left. Or Palmer's injured, so Kudus has to go to the middle, and Gittens is off form or injured again, you can put someone on the left. So for me, I would rather get Kudus, who's versatile and can play both positions, rather than getting two left forwards, and then Palmer's got no competition. You get what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't want that. So I think Kudus or Rogers suits that role, or the Rogers not a good left forward. So Ekitike could also be good for that as well. Ahmed, over to you, bro.
Although he's not played there.
Yeah, I think realistic. I think
he's just not played there yet. Like I envision him there, but he's
talking about the cam position or left.
Nah, he just drift left.
You think he's not played the left wing? Yeah,
he just drift. When you see him out there in games, he drifted out there. He doesn't really play out.
Why are you saying that you're implying that would be an issue? You think it's an issue?
Sorry?
You kind of said it in a way that he's not proven there, true, but I think he'll be fine there.
I don't think you can pay 100 million for a guy that you haven't, for a position where you haven't seen it.
He wouldn't cost 100 mil. No way.
Regardless of what it is, 80 mil. Like you don't pay that kind of funds and then say that I can envision him there. He has to know that you can play there, right? Like, what's his preferred role? Shadow striker, maybe.
Right down.
Maybe 9.
Like a second.
You know.
Essentially, he's almost essentially like a Nkunku type role. I know obviously he hasn't worked out for us, but that guy that can maybe work behind
Yeah.
the striker.
No, but in
and then
Google's
just like that.
versatility is not the reason why he didn't work out. He didn't work out because he hasn't got the power and the pace for the Prem.
So
He's
I
got the
don't think
tech. He's got the tech. What do you man think the reason why he didn't work out then? Because he's got all the raw.
I don't think he. I mean, I don't think that he's given enough opportunities. To be honest,
I think for me, it's.
I think
it might be a sensitivity.
No, we're not.
I think it might also be a little. I always say the system didn't help if you got out either. If I'm being fair, either. You know what I mean? So I think, regardless of that, that's just my opinion. But I think if you're gonna buy a KTK, once, as I said before, once you reach a certain value of a player, 80, 90, or 100, it doesn't matter if it's in euros or pounds, you've got to be playing him in this best position because you're paying big bucks for him to do a certain job for you, right? Yeah. So, regardless of that, I think my problem, not my problem, sorry, but I think what's probably going to happen is that I don't think we can go for Rodgers this summer. Unless, we do some sort of random craziness of rather spending money on Ekitike, we decide, you know what, bank Morgan Rodgers 90 million or 80 million, give us the player.
Oh, Morgan ain't going to cost that much.
Listen, Premtex.
No, but Rodgers has the same issue though. If he's not a winger.
I understand. Maybe, regardless, but it's going to cost us a certain fee, right? A hefty fee, if that makes sense, Jimmy.
Yeah, but right? Rodgers has the same issue as Kudos. He's not a winger.
I understand that.
Morgan Rodgers got a lot of DNA from that left wing, bro. Go look at the numbers.
What I'm looking at,
he's just not a touchline winger.
What I would say to you, is that, let's say, hypothetically speaking, we get Gittens, but we don't get any more wingers, right? You still have Neto and Gittens on one. Hypothetically, they can play the left wing for you. Even Madueke, to an extent, can play that. Obviously not.
No.
Chill. Hear me out. I'm not finished. Chill. Hear me out. All right, chill. I'm just saying.
Chance said, nah.
I'm not seeing Pedro Neto left wing in the Champions League semi-final.
I get
it like a proper Englishman. He's supposed to say, yo, less of that, fam. Less of that.
I get that, but I'm going off the I think if you lose, if you're gonna bring in the Kudus, in my personal opinion, you have to lose one of Madueke. Madueke has to be leaving the club, in my personal opinion. Because then,
I know that. By the way, I'm assuming.
So that's what I'm saying. If you bring in the Morgan Rodgers into the team, I think for me, ideally, you want him to be playing that 10 role, in my personal opinion, right?
Bro, if it was up to me, I would swap Morgan Rodgers, put him in the team, right, and I'd still buy Kudus and so on the Madueke. It was up to me. I'll get both.
Of course, yeah, but I'm saying we need to live in realism, right? I'm trying to live in
reality. So if I have to choose out one of them,
so that's what I'm saying to you. Morgan Rodgers comes in. If you bring in Morgan Rodgers, hopefully, maybe the man just you tried it obviously against Flamenco where you tried Palmer on the right wing. Maybe he says maybe we can put Palmer on the right. You play obviously. I forgot the guy I was speaking on his name right now. Morgan Rodgers in the 10, and then maybe it will be one of Gittens or Neto that's going to play on the left wing for you, right? That's sacrifices that you're going to have to sadly commit on that, or if you bring in a guy like a Morgan Rodgers in that type of.
Talk to me. Last segment of the show. Who are you feeling for the inside forward position, bro?
It's a tough one.
Obviously, you can do other ones, but
yeah, I just think it's a tough one because what we're looking for is somebody to fill in a bunch of different roles. So you kind of want a Swiss Army knife, right?
Yeah.
What? Well, I mean,
left wing.
It's not for a starter though, right? That's what I'm saying. This is not a starting position.
Depends who it is.
Who would you consider as a starter? I'd say
Rodgers starts with a Gittens straight away. I would say Kudus starts with a Gittens straight away. And I would say
Rodgers starts over Gittens? Nah.
Yeah, Kudus wouldn't start on the left wing over Gittens. Nah.
I think he would.
He starts on the right for me.
It might, maybe, but not good. Not Kudos. Kudos is not starting over.
I think he would, man.
Nah. Okay, well, I tend to think that we're going to get.
It depends how much you rate Gittens. Are you two saying he's?
I don't. I just think that he fits the profile better for that.
Yeah, he fits that left wing profile much better, bro. Much better.
You
know? I don't know. But anyway,
with everything said, if we're gonna pay upwards of 60-70 million for somebody, which is the numbers that are being thrown around, it has to be somebody who's gonna be challenging for a role that we actually need right now. For me, it's Kudos, and I see Kudos can play on the right. He can literally start on the right for us right now.
Yes,
and he can also deputize as a number 10. Probably give you some minutes on the left too if you need it, but he can start for you. So if I'm putting out that outlay for cash for a player, it's somebody that I need to see in my starting lineup, and I have to have a role for him. So it's Kudos.
Good question before we go to Jimmy and me and the stream. Are you not worried about how many left footers that would be in the team?
Yeah, it's a lot.
No, because why when you have when a team full of right footers, nobody never care.
No, Jimmy. But that's two
extremes,
though. I'm saying we need balance, isn't it?
I hear
Jimmy,
that.
It depends.
Jimmy, so
if your left foot is
context, Estival, right? Kudos, Palmer, Noni, Neto. Does that 6 out of 8 attacks to right left footed?
So
I mean, there's a balance issue on the left hand side.
Not necessarily.
That's why I want
to. Listen. I remember watching teams with a bunch of right foot players and nobody never said. I remember backlines used to be all right foot players. I remember that. Nobody in
and Quenda. Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? Nice. Quenda is nice.
We heavy lean into the left. That's okay. So when we go right, they won't be ready for it. Like I don't really see.
Why'd you say it like that though?
Like Quenda's nice.
I don't really see
Quenda's nice because he's nice.
No, Quenda is nice. Good.
No, it's when Jimmy said heavy leaning to the left. Sounding mad. Well, you know what I'm saying, about
heavy leaning to the left.
Yeah.
I think for me.
But Jimmy, you didn't give me a name.
What? Who I want? What? Oh, Kudos. It's not even an argument. I want Kudos.
Oh, so all in agreement then.
He's a level raiser. I feel like Kudos is a level raiser.
So when we get the links,
like João Pedro, good player, doesn't really move me like that. Who was the other name?
João Pedro just got a big foot in for him. João Pedro just literally got put in a big for him right now. Yeah.
Ekitike is the money. Like if you can pay 60 for Ekitike, bring him on.
Yeah, I'll take him.
The
thing with Ekitike also is that again, like we know apparently Liverpool's interested. You're all kind of in a race of like until they sell a Darwin Núñez or someone that they're looking to move on, right? You've got a ticking time bomb essentially there, right? So if you want to get him done, it's probably the sooner the better after the fiscal year.
The problem right now is they want that high evaluation and nobody's jumping. So it's just stuck there. They're either gonna decide to keep him or bring his evaluation down. So it's just right now it's just the waiting game. Yeah.
Any of them players I mentioned, if they came in, I actually personally wouldn't be that annoyed. Do you disagree?
Me neither.
If João Pedro came in, I would actually understand that. I'd actually back that.
Yeah, I could understand the João Pedro move.
I think for me,
all of them.
Like, what name are you going? Oh, that's an underwhelming. I want
to say underwhelming. The one that I would probably be the most worried about probably would be João Pedro, only because of his recent injury history. That's the only thing I would be a little bit worried about, right? But I think everyone else.
He doesn't threaten anyone's position though either. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't think
that's fair enough. Yeah.
Position.
Is he a ceiling raiser? Maybe not. That's a good point.
Not even so much ceiling as much as He's not. He's basically going to give you the exact same minutes that Nkunku gave you if Nkunku leaves because they're not putting João Pedro into the game. There's a name, Malik Fofana. That kid's cold, but
30 million euros.
Touchline winger though.
Yeah. If you bring João Pedro to the side. He's not displacing Cole Palmer. Like, let's just be real. So he comes in and he's just basically filling, emergency minutes here and there, and I can't see him being as effective as a number 9. He's not displacing Jackson or
that's why they want somebody who can play across the front in case of emergency. That's what they want.
Oh, for sure. But it's what's the price for that? Like, what do you play for somebody that's just like a Swiss Army knife? That's not going to
João Pedro, bro. João Pedro
definitely not
like 70 something, bro. They're crazy.
Nah, they were saying 60 for João Pedro.
It was 60.
Yeah, I think they just literally. I think a 55 million bid just went in for him right now from Newcastle.
Yeah, it's gonna be about 60.
That sounds about right.
They're all gonna be north of 60 million, all of them.
Yeah,
and he'll get more minutes at Newcastle than he would here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The only problem I have with Rodgers,
Callum is gone.
The only problem I have with Rodgers and Kudus is that I have someone raided me just now. I went up by 30 viewers. But anyway, the only problem I have with Rodgers and Kudus is that I can see their price being very, very high to the point where it becomes an issue in terms of Russia's got to juggle that in terms of the price, and also they'll probably demand the start.
The other thing I think
because there's no left wingers on. It was Lewis. Lewis with the raid. I was like, what the hell?
I realized. Yeah, there's another thing that with Ekitike, which is that if you are going to bring in Ekitike, right, he's probably going to work for you as a striker, essentially. So the question you got to ask yourself is then, Jackson's there, just brought in Liam Delap there too. Obviously, that's 3 guys that's in that position now. Unless, I know there's obviously been some rumors sniffing around about Jackson, but obviously nothing's happened yet, and obviously there's no point in me speculating about Jackson leaving. But if you got 3 strikers, are you going to be able to make that work out? That's the question.
True.
Maresca quote, and I quote, they asked him, "Do you see a world playing 2 strikers?" And he said yes. He said yes.
So we got to see how that
specifically
works.
talking about Jackson and the lap. He said he wanted to give that a try, and that's what who I was on stream with the other day. He was like, "That's why he's so pissed." Was it Don said, "Now Jimmy, we're not gonna be able to get to see him try the lap and what you call it together." Because I remember the Maresca quote. He said he was gonna give that a try. The 2 striker setup. He was gonna give it.
Oh, you're talking about the Club Cup.
Yeah.
Right.
He was gonna give it a try.
Maybe against Tunis, we would have seen it against Tunis.
Yeah, we would have seen it against a lot of opposition.
Yeah,
obviously now
we're gonna give it a try at some point. Right now, 2 strikers.
Benfica, Palmeiras, probably.
You know,
and then
high key, we might not have even seen KDH in that case. You know, it would have been like what Jackson did, like a 4-4-2.
Yeah, it probably would have been like, remember the first night? Remember against Flamingo where you had Neto playing almost like, it probably would have been like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yo, RSM, I need to link you, bro. I need to get a Caicedo jersey.
From what, Ecuador?
Yeah.
Are you Ecuadorian?
Wait.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. I thought you were American.
No, RSM, we was at the game, me and Steve. Let him tell you about the Caicedo kids.
Why did Ahmed laugh when I said I thought you're American? I
know RSM a lot quite well.
Ahmed's my guy.
That's my guy.
They're fucking kids. Listen to me. They're kids. Beautiful. I saw so many different ones. I was like, yo, I need the yellow and blue one. Like the numbers almost look like digital.
Kids.
Like
I thought you said kids.
Kids. Yo, this nigga Chad's a freak.
You'll be romantic.
How old are you? Like 26? How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 25.
25. Yeah, you are my oldest son age. Yeah, you're perv.
Yeah, brother, I'm not the only one. I thought you said kids. I was like,
no, kids.
Kids.
There we go. Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah, yo, listen. They got some nice.
He's got the Caicedo team.
Look at these shit. Yo, the Caicedo ones. You got to see how this shit look on the back with the Caicedo on across the back. I said, yeah, man, I need a couple of those. Yeah, y'all wilding out.
Hey, if you're Arsenal's people, them though, repping Chelsea, yeah.
Listen.
Bro, I'm telling you, I said this.
You know how many Ecuadorians was at the game?
Yo, talk to me about Paez, man. What's going on?
Every single game, I told Ahmed, I'm like, I see the Ecuadorian flags in the crowd. We showing
everywhere.
up everywhere.
There was so many Ecuadorians at the game. Hell yeah! Oh wow!
Talk to me, man.
The only Jamaican player was
What's going on with Paez?
He was the only one. Sancho was the only Jamaican player.
No, you don't.
No, he's not. Sancho,
growing up.
Oh yeah, Sanchez is half Jamaican.
Bro, I was struggling, bro.
No way, bro. You
didn't know that?
He's
half stream watch out this
Hispanic.
He's not the man, bro. Yeah, his father's Jamaican and his mother's Espana.
He's letting the man them down, bro. He's letting the man them down.
Yes, the fuck he is. I disowned him a long time ago. I took his Jamaican citizenship. I took that. Long time.
Yeah, man.
We gotta strike that away,
for one bit. When I saw it, I was like, you know what? I hear it.
Top 4.
That was right. That was right before he cut his hair, and then after he cut his hair, he kind of, turned it on. Yeah, he got better.
I'm seeing the package.
Cut off that bum buckler.
And now he's performing now because he's bald. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let it go, man. Sometimes you gotta let it go.
But yeah, the one with the digital looking numbers, that shits was. I saw Luke Kid. Yeah, and I'm like, his number's 23 for the national team, right?
Is the anniversary, right? You're talking about the anniversary version?
I think that's the one. Yeah, Caicedo number's 23 for the national team, right? Okay, yeah. I know I wasn't tripping.
Let me see.
What do you say? We everywhere? Yeah, I'm on every channel, bro. We everywhere. We everywhere. Like
they're not on the stadium, they're on streams. They're not on streams, they're on social media. It's how it works, man.
Yeah, that Chelsea Fan TV, everybody hit me up. I saw you on Chelsea Fan TV. I said, yeah, it was in America for a change. They come in America more, you'll see me more.
I watched
that. Don't bring
that
up, Sean. Please don't bring that up. Oh my gosh, that was a beating. That was a beat.
You talking about? Jimmy, you talking about this one?
Yes. What are you telling me? That shit
Yes,
is,
these are nice, bro.
bruh, that kit
It's for
right
the
there,
anniversary. Yes, the 100th
bruh.
anniversary.
And then you
Yes,
see the back of it. The name is in the same type, bruh. Yo,
Flip it around.
yo, you
Let me see if I
shot the
can
fuck
find
out.
The
Wait,
issue.
RSM, do you actually live in Ecuador though?
No. I was born
Wait.
here, but
I literally said that. I said you sound American. And
no,
Ahmed
I
asked me.
mean, no, I was born in Ecuador, but I've been here for.
Yeah. So Ahmed was like this.
Even if he
Ahmed-
wasn't born in America, he's still fucking Ecuadorian.
Yeah, nah, I know. Obviously, he's
Yeah.
Ecuadorian. I'm just
Shit.
saying. I
Hell
thought it
yeah.
seems way too American to still be living in Ecuador. I was like, it doesn't make.
No.
Unless you watch
Oh,
TV.
nah. He's in.
The
a big
only issue
foreign,
with that,
bro.
the only issue with
USA.
that, Jimmy, is they all sold out, bro. Like it's impossible to get one. Like,
That-
as soon
yo,
as they get
I
stocked-
asked the dude. I was like, yo, where you get this? He was like, yeah, like you ain't gonna be able to get this shit. You ain't gonna be able to get this. He was like
the best you
I
can
had a
do is get
Tunisian dude ready to swap jerseys. I'm like, I'll do it, but this is my personal one.
I gotta go anyways.
I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, if I had a regular Chelsea jersey with no name on it, I would have swapped. So I can't swap this. This shit got my
Hey,
name.
man loves the shirts. You know, let's get one, Jimmy. But people, them, loads of people in here. All the channels of the people them are below you. Jimmy's, Ahmed's, RSM's, and Couch's all below. And mine, of course, subscribe to. So no excuses. Over 100 people in here, 130 people in here. No excuse does to give everyone at least plus 10, 15 subscribers. Do you know what I'm saying? So be up everyone who joined the channel. Be up Lewis for the Raiders, or be up Jimmy, Couch, Ahmed, Arsenal. Got me heated. But it's all part of the process, man, for Chelsea. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But be at
This is the
Ecuador.
best one, by the way.
Big up the shirts,
That's
man.
cool.
Jimmy, this is the best one. This is the best jersey Ecuador has ever come out with, bro. This one right here.
That's the
cool,
first
man.
time I've ever seen this
That's
shit.
a nice kit, though.
This
It
this
is
was the
blue too.
this was the Qatar World Cup second kit, bro. Best
So
best
sick.
kit they've ever come out with, bro.
I like the badge. You know, the actual
Yo,
logo.
that shit is fly. I could get
Well,
one of those with Caicedo on the back.
Yes, you can. These you can still get, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I
These
could
you
get
can
one of
still
those
get.
with Caicedo.
But these
Anywhere
don't
I'm
be
at,
talking
any
about,
Ecuadorian, they're gonna be
He's
like,
talking
bam,
about-
bam, bam, bam.
I
Hey!
found these, bro. These sold
Caicedo!
out.
Look at that shit. That shit is
These
fly,
sold
bro.
out. Yeah, these sold out immediately.
That shit,
bro. These
that
are
shit
so
look like an
hard to
NFL
find.
jersey on a soccer.
I think he was
That
making
shit-
hella bank just from his kits, you know.
Man, look how
Man's
big
in-
the number is. That shit
You know?
is loud, son. That
His
shit
image
is
rights
loud.
right now are going through the roof.
Caicedo's, this is the blue one, by the way. This is the blue one.
Man,
Oh,
I'm
that's
telling you,
sick.
I seen those all in the
Yeah,
stadium.
man.
So when you looking on the screen and you don't see Chelsea blue, it's not all the Chelsea fans don't wear
Yeah.
Chelsea jerseys. A lot of them wear Argentina jerseys too. A lot of
Yep.
Chelsea fans go to in
Bro,
America.
people-
They go to game in Argentina jerseys because Enzo is the fucking
People don't
Oh,
understand.
Lloyd's
In
the
South
badge, man.
America,
Lloyd's
bro.
the
In
badge,
South
not Lloyd's the
America,
badge.
all of the ads are Caicedo and Enzo. All
Yo,
of the ads.
in America too.
Oh,
In
so
America,
we're gonna end up
Alright,
an hour
Cal.
anyway.
Yeah.
when you look at the
Yeah,
jerseys
yeah.
in the stadium, RSM, the 2 games I went to, Enzo, Caicedo is crazy.
Yes,
But
bro.
you do see a lot
Imagine,
of
They run it.
you see a lot of other
Yeah,
kids
people,
too,
we end
but
up here,
Enzo,
man.
Caicedo,
Yeah.
but right now it's Enzo, Caicedo, and Palmer. You see that number,
How it should
number
be.
20 Palmer.
Icons for Chelsea. No worries, guys. Love for the stream. Love for the guests always. RSM first time here. Great stream, man. We'll get you on again.
Definitely.
We'll talk. I got to jump on your channel as well, and Jimmy's channel. Jump on his channel. And
Yeah,
Ahmed's.
when the transfer window over, I'm gonna start doing my panels and shit.
Yeah, everyone's got a different timeline, man. So we'll definitely
Yeah, I
run
can't
that.
do it in the transfer window. It's
But yeah,
too much.
over 100. If you give my guys some subs, man, we all want to hit our respective 5, 10Ks. That'd be really good, man. It makes it well to do, man. All around the world, all doing content. So follow us up. Very, very important. Smash the likes on your way out. We'll see you tomorrow, 3:30 or 5:30 maybe. In a bit, guys. Peace.